Hey everybody, it's Hey John. Okay, I create cryptocurrency videos about Dogecoin specifically. Okay, I cover the Dogecoin news and the Dogecoin technical analysis. Alrighty then. So in this video today, I'll be covering the Dogecoin technical analysis. But before we get to all that, do me a huge favor and just tap the subscribe button and tap the like button. Okay, it helps to grow the Dogecoin community by doing this. Okay, spreading out these videos to people who have not seen these videos, and they will gain knowledge about Dogecoin, and it'll kind of demystify it for them, and they will be more likely to want to invest in Dogecoin with us. In essence, to grow the Dogecoin community. You came for the sticks. Let's get to the sticks. All right. So today's a daily here. I always like to start on a daily for the most part. The current daily MACD is about for the 50 MA is 567. That's pretty high right now. It's what I would call a resistance now. Um, but we are still bullish in the long term because the 50 MA is still above the 200 MA for the most part. But it'll take some time before it comes down. However, the reason why I still say we're bullish is because look at this volume here, okay? March 20, 71 million. 21, 82, 83 million. 22, 67 million. 23, 78 million. 24, 69 million. You can see that the volume here is relatively low. Usually you see 115, 189, 132, 154, 280, etc. here, right? 230 again. So you see 80 and 90, 110. So basically, right here, for the past few days, from the 20th to now, the volume has been lower than usual here. Yes, we are trending down. Yes, we are. However, due to the lower volume here, this move is not as significant in my opinion due to that. So to me, this seems more like a fake out, shakeout than a real falling down of Dogecoin here because I haven't seen any news. I see no fundamental reason for it to fall apart right now. So to me, this seems more of a tactic to get more cheap Dogecoin from people who are just kind of shaky, novice investors who do not know what they're doing and who do not watch my videos because they're kind of buying high and selling low, and they're kind of just panic selling here because they think it'll fall apart to zero or something. Because I'm seeing a lot more bears lately saying, "Oh, okay, it's going back to 0.002." Okay, if that happens, I will buy 1 million Dogecoin straight up. So please do go 0.002. I would love that, Bears. Please do me a huge favor. Of course, I don't see that happening though. So I mean, if it did, I would happily buy that real quick. Um, but I don't see it happening, so I'll leave it at that. I don't want to speculate too much on that front right there. But also you can see also on MACD here, on daily MACD, you're seeing the divergence is starting to spread here. So as it spreads, we're going to see lower lows and higher lows, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So I suspect that currently we are still in the bullish quadrant, but we are trending down. So I suspect we may see something like this. We may go into the bearish quadrant and kind of come back up like this right here. So we may see this happen for, let's see how many possible, if my drawing is even remotely accurate, we may see a bottoming probably in next week or something, So I'll be watching myself, and I'm personally buying a dip just say about I think at 0.25 and point 0.501. Yeah, I think those are my two limit buys yesterday, and they triggered. And obviously, I follow my own advice. I buy the supports, right? If they break, they break. It's okay. As always, I do my own analysis here, so I feel very comfortable with whatever happens. But I also did note that that around like I did mention yesterday and in my other videos as well that the psychological resistance about 50 cents or anything was quartered like 25, 50, 75, a dollar, right? Anything with those kind of numbers right there are usually going to be stronger supports and resistance for the most part. Yeah, yesterday we dipped below 5 to like what 4, let me see, I think 4 something, 4.9 or something like that. Let me see, yeah, 4.96, but then it popped up almost immediately, right? Because it's kind of like a buy zone for the most part. And as always, the volume is very low recently as well, so you can see that there isn't much movement as well. So I mean, yeah, I'm buying a dip, and I always tell everyone what I do personally speaking is that I like to buy red and sell green. If it's a green day, I don't buy for the most part because when you buy green and you sell green, what that translates to is you're buying high and you're selling higher. That's you chasing the trade. I don't like to chase it. I do not like to chase a trade. The trade should come to me. And if it doesn't come to me, well, you know what? I'll wait for the next cycle. I'm in no rush, right? And I always mention to everyone how I trade is I don't give financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I do. It's very pragmatic, very simple. From an investor perspective here is that I could nibble, not bite. Nibble, not bite. Okay, that's very important because if you nibble, that means that I'm gonna have lots of powder in my pocket. Lots of powder in my pocket, right? If I bite, that powder is gonna be gone because I'm gonna use it so quick. And I don't mind averaging up or averaging down. I just buy over time here for the most part. Eventually, if you buy enough red days and it goes green a couple of times, you're probably gonna make your money back and then some. It's a very simple concept. I mean, it is not rocket science at all. But from an investor perspective, that's kind of what I do. And obviously, I use a tech, I use a technicals as well to kind of guide me to see where are the buy zones, where are the supports and resistance for the most part here. So I will get into that more. So as of right now, long term, it's bullish. Short term, it's bearish. Okay, let me make that very clear. Long term bullish, short term bearish. All right. Short term means um, was coming the few coming days and weeks are for the most part. Okay. Long term means like months and years. But anyway, let's go to the 4-hour chart now and see what that looks like. Okay. So with the 4-hour chart here, we can see it. Okay, okay. It looks actually very bearish short term, as I mentioned before, but it's super highlighted now on the short term here. I'll explain to you why in a few moments here. So I drew my channel yesterday right here, right? Or actually a few days ago. At first it was a descending triangle. Now it's kind of a downward channel here, and you can see that it broke through the channel here, right? And now this channel is acting as a resistance right here, right? But you also have to note that also, I did mention as well for a while that around 525 was a support, right? The range was 525 to about 585 or something like that. That was your range. So yesterday when it broke through 525 and it went down past the channel as well, you can see the yellow line here, and it popped back up again, but it popped up its head and it hit the 525 and it got slapped out almost immediately. So this tells me 525 is going to be a resistance now. So I wouldn't buy a 525 anymore. Even though yesterday I did buy a 525 because I was buying it under the impression that it was going to be a support. But as always, with technical analysis, it's more of an art than a science. It's not guaranteed, right? So that's okay. Now I know. So I'm at 525. I'm not gonna buy anymore now. So I'm gonna wait for the next one here. The next buy zone is gonna be around like about 485. It's gonna be the next buy zone for the most part. So I'm gonna put a few limit buys around there, and then if that breaks as well, I'm gonna also go to about 469 as well. So I'm gonna set a few limit buys here and see if they trigger. If they do, great. If they don't, then that's fine too. I don't mind either which way. As I've been mentioning to everyone here, I accumulate over time here. I'm not trying to buy all on the same day. I mean, yeah, some people are going to say, oh, well, why don't you buy all when it was 0.002? Well, in hindsight, right? I didn't know that. You know, if you're trading in hindsight, my God, you could be a quadrillionaire instantly, right? But obviously, I live in a real world here, and I don't have a crystal ball. And anyone who tells you they do, well, I think they're lying to you, honestly. Truth is, no one knows where it's going, but you can try to understand the trends and kind of work around that for the most part. You know, by reading the news, kind of what I do. I get the news, the data, the sticks here. I put it all together, and I try to see where it's going here. And based on the volume here, I don't believe this is the real bear trend. I mean, yeah, it is short term bear trend, but I don't think it's going to be lasting because the volume just isn't there. The volume is lowered, right? If it was bearish, a true bearish sign for me, well, I would see a huge spike in volume, and that would concern me. and that may make me want to liquidate my position. But I don't see that though, so I don't believe that. So I don't really believe it because I like to watch the money and kind of follow the money in that kind of sense. And I'm not seeing that display on the charts here, so I'm not inclined to believe it. And that's kind of why I tell you guys and gals to you have to watch these videos daily because every day these sticks or technical analysis it evolves every day. What I said yesterday may be valid for a week or something, or if something changes, it's no more valid, right? So it's kind of always evolving, and that's kind of why I create videos about this daily here because I try to keep the Dogecoin community apprised of the situation, so you can make informed decisions instead of panic buying or panic selling here for the most part. So that's kind of why I encourage you guys to just and gals to subscribe and like these videos so we can spread these videos out to people who are not aware of it, so it can demystify it and make them make people more willing to be a participant of Dogecoin. Okay. With that being said, there on the 4-hour chart, the 50 MA is coming down, trending down. The 4-hour, I'm sorry, the 200 MA is also trending down, and they're both kind of trending down this way. You can see it on the camera with my hands right here. So they're trending down for the most part. I suspect we're going to see a bearish cross, and when we do, we're going to see more downside. How far we're going to go, no one knows, but based on these support and resistance here, I would say the lowest we're going to go to is we may possibly see a 449 again, or even a 429. But again, with these supports right here, they are in long term because you got to bear in mind that we haven't been above 1 cent for more than like what, maybe 7 or 8 weeks now, maybe. Before that, it was always like 0.001, 0.002, right? So this is kind of a new territory for Dogecoin here. So these resistance here and supports, they're all temporary, and I've been emphasizing that from basically, if you watch my videos, I always emphasize that these are all temporary resistance and supports here because they haven't been long enough here where they're actually established, right? Because we just don't have the history yet. But of course, I like to just kind of note the trends and where they're going and kind of use it as like, okay, you know what? I know it's not set in stone yet, but you know what? I'm gonna use it anyways because this is better than nothing right here, right? And I can see the trends, and I'm gonna use it to my advantage here. Okay. Again, if you buy or sell or by sell I mean short, with this in mind here, you're gonna feel more comfortable with your trade, and you're gonna be more hold it with more conviction. Okay. The most important thing is hold it with conviction. Yeah, paper hands. If you're worried about a 5% drop or 50% drop, maybe you shouldn't be trading or investing in stuff because you may not have the stomach for it. I trade in the past where like, okay, I could do like 40 or 50% on a trade, but I believed in it, and eventually it popped back up. Just because I believed in the fundamentals of it, and I believe in what I was doing for the charts, and usually it works out for the most part. Sometimes you take a loss, sometimes you gotta take the L. It's okay, right? But when you invest in other stuff, you kind of mitigate it that way. But I don't want to get too much into that though. But on the MACD here, we can see that okay, we're still trending down, but an important thing to note that okay, we're in the bear zone, and yesterday I tried to come back up right here, right? But it was in the bear zone though. You can see my mouse cursor here, and it went back down here. So this tells me that it's resetting in a bear zone. So this tells me that in the coming days, we're going to see lower lows and higher lows for maybe I would say maybe a week or something like that. Just if you want a time frame, I'll give it a week for us to see that kind of movement for the most part. So I wouldn't get our hopes up too much about that, but I will be looking to buy more dips here to further increase my position here because I do want to have a lot of Dogecoin sooner rather than later here. But as always, I like to accumulate over time here, so I'm not in a rush either which way. And I always nibble. I don't buy big bites here. Yesterday I bought like maybe like 3,000 coins. That's kind of more than what I usually buy. So I kind of broke my own rule in that sense right there. I kind of got some FOMO, but that's okay though. I mean, like I account for that kind of stuff because even I get emotional and I want to just buy more just because. But at the same token, I knew that it was going to go lower too. But I don't know why. It's sometimes it just gets the better of you. Sometimes I don't even sometimes I don't even follow my own advice here. I'll just be honest about it, you know. He's like, oh, you get itchy, you want to buy it or short it or whatever, and I get that feeling too. That's kind of why I try to, you know, create these rules in place to kind of mentally block myself from going too far in too fast. Okay, and the reason why I came out bringing this up here and come out emphasizing it is because lots of new traders or investors or whatever's, they don't understand that, and it's very easy for you to get sucked into it. So I'm just, you know, sharing my 10 plus years of trading. So hopefully it reaches you, but most times when someone tells you something, you're not gonna listen anyways. So the truth is, you are most likely going to have to learn the hard way, and that's okay too, right? Just make sure you learn though. So moving into the 15-minute chart here. Okay, so we're seeing some. Okay, so a 15-minute chart here is pretty bearish. It's kind of bearish as you can tell because first of all, the 200 is over 50, so that's pretty much a death cross right here, right? And the 50, you see the 50 MA on a 15-minute chart is looking like resistance for the most part. Every time it pops up, it gets knocked back down with a larger candlestick, and now it's kind of resistance. So if you're a bear, an easy short would be around 5-1 would be an easy short for you, and the next easy short would be around 5-3. So if I was being bearish, that's kind of what I would do because it's gonna trend down for the foreseeable days. So I mean, I'm not gonna be too surprised if that happens, you know. And we are seeing these two huge sticks right here, 12.5 and 11.04. This to me looks like a bear cover where they're kind of buying the stock, but they're covering though, which means that okay, you shorted right. That means you're borrowing a share to push it down, and now when you cover it, you're buying that share back. So it kind of, you know, washes out. You know, -1 +1 equals 0 here, right? So that's kind of what it does. That's kind of why I'm seeing these two big red candlesticks here. So to me, this could be a possible indication, short term, keyword short term, that this may make a move up now. But given that it's a slow day, it's a Thursday, Friday's coming up, and the weekend's coming soon, I think we're gonna see bigger sales here. And given the low volume here, it's going to be easy to get sales for the most part. So definitely gonna be interesting times here. And you can see also it's on a MACD on a 15-minute chart, right? It's starting to reset, as you can see, going up that way right there, right? But it's resetting in bearish territory. So even this to me means that we're gonna see more downside, unless it does something like this, where it kind of goes all the way up like that. But I don't see that happening because the daily trend is still going down, and this short term from here is not strong enough to break it through. It'll take a couple of days before it can muster enough strength technically to kind of move it. So the daily is against the 15-minute trend here. The 4 hours is against a 15-minute trend here. So if it pops up, if you're a bear, you want to short it because it's gonna be easy money because you are going with the trend right now. It's going down for the most part. So you know, it's kind of like biking, right? Is it easier to bike going with the wind or going against the wind here, right? So if you're going long right now, you're kind of hitting the headwinds here. If you're going short, you're going with the winds here. So that's kind of what I'm saying right here for the most part. Hopefully that's a pretty good analogy. Hopefully you understand that. If not, leave me a comment below and I'll further explain it if I can. And as always, if you watch my videos this far already, do me a huge favor. Just tap the subscribe button and tap the like button so we can share these videos with people that are not currently in the Doge community, to bring them in and to grow, most importantly, to grow the Doge community. It's Hey John, and I will catch you all on the next one.